All right, people. How about we go do stuff? I was thinking we could stop in and talk to Isabella, and maybe even pay Meryl a visit. There were notes in my journal saying that they wanted to have a word with us, so we'll go do that. Also make some deliveries while we're out and about. Seems like we're always stumbling across something that somebody's lost.
Maybe you don't really understand the difference between spirits and demons.
Wow, Anders.
Did I ask you?
Do you not realize that you are the last person on Earth that should be preaching to anybody about anything? Much less chantry rhetoric. What a hypocrite. He is everything he claims to stand against, for one thing. And then to be preaching chantry, it's like pearls in a pig's snout. Anything coming out of his mouth, it's just, wow. He has no shame, and that's dangerous, actually. And it's dirty, and it's, wow. Alright, on a better note, these rings right here, it's called Ring of Minor Cantrips here, and they're not always called that, but, essentially, all they do is allow, Meryl to get more mana from each unit of health that she has, and her health is already going to be high, because that's what we're essentially investing all of our points, other than magic, into. Okay, we don't worry about her mana pool, we leave that default. And we sink points into her health, which essentially becomes her mana pool. And with several of these items equipped, you can almost basically double her mana draw from her health. And I mean, she's already a spell-slinging battery as it is, and it gets to the point of being almost ridiculous. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll find that particular buff in staves and different items as well. So we'll be able to stack a few of those for her.
He's ignoring me now. Hey, is my coin not good enough for you? Oh, Hawk. Thanks for helping me with that little problem I had. You going to buy me a drink to celebrate our victory?
You drink the swill here.
It's an acquired taste.
Oh, before I forget, are you still looking for work? Because I have a friend who needs some help.
A friend of yours is a friend of mine. What can I do?
He didn't say, and I didn't ask, but I'm sure you're up to it.
His name's Martin. He has a room right here in the Hanged Man. Tell him I sent you. Now, you going to leave me to my drinking or what?
Actually, no. I'm going to bring you with me, because I think I can earn some brownie points with you for doing this favor for your friend. Quote-unquote friend. And with this convenient little post right over here, that's exactly what I'm going to do, is switch you out with, well, essentially Meryl. She becomes the expendable one. And I need to put another rogue in the party. Actually, we'll bring Isabella with us for a while.
What about when was the last time you were with a woman?
Hey, who are you?
My, you're jumpy. Look at you, cowering in a corner. What happened to the fearless, dashing raider I used to know?
I'm not a raider anymore, Isabella. I'm just an honest merchant now.
Please, Martin. You wouldn't know honest if I tied you up and spanked you with it.
You tie him up. I'll go find some honesty.
Very funny, Isabella. You said you could find me help. This is the best you could do, eh?
No.
Yes, why don't we insult the people coming to help? That will work out wonderfully.
Shut up, Andy.
You want the help or not?
Yes, I want help. I need someone to help me find out where the raiders have hidden my stolen cargo. This job's as easy as a peg-legged tavern wench. And there's good coin in it to boot.
You used to be a raider. What happened?
Yes, I was a raider. Back then it was just smuggling and petty thievery. It's changed since that madman Ianto took power around here. Extortion, murder, kidnapping, he does it all. It's just not to my taste. I tried to get out, but he didn't like that. This scar on my neck, he gave it to me, slit my throat, and threw me overboard. I tried to start a new life away from this bullshit, And he has his men chase me down and steal my cargo.
You knew what he was. Why would the raiders want your cargo? Is it valuable?
How should I know why they want it? It's just spices and herbs. Nothing special.
What did the raiders do to you?
They closed in on my ship and forced her into the cliffs. My crew and I barely made it out alive. They must have salvaged the cargo when it washed ashore.
Are the raiders a big problem around here?
They've got some big plan for Kirkwall, or so I've heard. If they're not a problem now, they will be soon.
It's your cargo. You look for it.
Those raiders are still looking for me. I'm not going to draw their attention.
I'll take care of it.
You'll need to look around the docks. The crates bear the seal of the Orlesian Port Authority, so you'll know it when you see it.
You're assuming I know what an Orlesian Port Authority seal looks like.
It's fancy. Just like everything Orlesian. I've had it with the raiders, and this cargo is the key to me getting on the straight and narrow. You're doing me a huge favor here, friend. Thank you, and be careful.
Still think we should have gone and found some honesty and spanked him with it. Well, at least Aveline's sort of cool with it now. I'm sure she'll get pissy about it later. I mean, we know this is, you know, at least a little bit shifty, right? It has to be. I mean, Isabel recommended it, so yeah. Got to be something underhanded about it, but that's cool. Speaking of Isabel, let's go ahead and level her up. I have some daggers that I've been hanging on to that, well, she can't equip them. Maybe we can get her to where she can equip them. And this belt, man, it's too shiny to drop, but it really doesn't fit anyone any better than what they've already got. Like, that just gives Anders about 1,000 different buffs. I'm not gonna switch that out for anything. And the overall extra healing to Aveline, plus the extra attack. Having some extra attack allows me to put more points in the Constitution than Strength. I mean, I'll still throw enough into Strength to have her equip the gear that I need her to equip. You know, the next better sword and shield and all that good stuff. But she needs to stay healthy, so... Actually, you know, late game, once you get into the high teens, she actually becomes stout enough where you can start throwing some points into Strength anyway, so she can put out just a little more damage. Take care of the enemy just a little faster. She has a really cool specialist tree, actually. All hands on deck is like a group backstab. It's actually really cool. Got a high stamina cost, but the cool thing about the AI is it keeps her attacking. And with a rogue, it's a little different here in Dragon Age 2. Is a rogue gains stamina back little by little for each attack. So basically, you need to stay busy. All right, and warriors get stamina back for each kill in bigger chunks, but you better be taking out the enemy fast, right? If you want your stamina back, especially if you're, you know, going the Berserker Reaver route, which is how I like to play. You need to be really high damage output. More like you need to be putting up rogue type numbers to take care of mobs so that you can get your stamina back and keep going. You essentially feed yourself attacks by doing that. And then mages essentially rely on mana regeneration over time, which is an advantage with them in one sense if you can stack them with a lot of equipment and stuff and any passives or buffs that might give them enhanced mana regeneration or a bigger mana pool, or both, you know, ideally. And that often comes on the staves, especially when you get to higher level staves. You get some really sexy numbers, like they'll get an extra 30, 40, 50 points of mana, plus, you know, plus 5 mana regeneration, and then, you know, that might stack on some of their different rings and amulets and stuff too. So that really comes in handy. But with the rogues, the AI basically will keep Isabella attacking, you know, regardless. And so you kind of got to factor that in, and she's always going to be in the enemy's face and give her ways to get the heat off of herself. And at the same time, what's cool about her is she can also take the heat off of the, you know, your mages and your other squishy targets, similar to the way Varric can. So
you married a Templar, huh?
What of it?
Are they all as dirty as they seem?
do what?
What?
Listen to Anders
Did
here.
I ask you to play the naughty mage and the hapless recruit? Maybe the secret desire demon. and
Oh, wow.
standing
Man, if I'm at a funeral and I see a man walk up to a widow and start asking her if she brought llamas and circus clowns and baby oil in when her husband slipped it to her, you know, her dead husband, I'm sending that dude to the hospital. He doesn't have a right to live, much less talk. Anders just crossed the line with me, folks,
I'm looking for some cargo.
in a major way.
You're in luck.
That's it.
All around.
That's
Take your
enough.
pick.
That says it all right there.
A laborer with a smart mouth. You hardly ever see those.
What do you want?
I'm looking for crates sealed by the Orlesian Port Authority.
Haven't seen any. Sorry.
Talk to the harbour master. I'll bet he's got information about your cargo. He's in his office.
Hey, if you're done wagging
He crossed so many boundaries there. He shows that he's not in a fit frame of mind to be allowed to think, speak, or live. If Aveline would have dueled him right there, I would have supported her. If she'd have killed him right there on the spot for going way too far out of bounds.
Shipping manifest.
To do some shit like that.
I'm looking for cargo bearing the seal of the Orlesian Port Authority.
Ugh. Adam, deal with this.
I apologize on Liam's behalf. He is a very, very busy man. I'm Adam, the Harbour Master's assistant. I understand you're looking for Orlesian cargo. I have seen the crates. I can't remember where. Such a shame.
I can't imagine what you mean.
The clink of gold coin often jogs my memory.
I'm not paying for this.
Then I am deeply sorry I could not be of more assistance. Good day.
Liam leaves his office at nightfall. We could sneak in after dark, take a look at his records.
Well, I'm sorry. When I look at Anders now, I can't help but picturing him, I don't know, licking small children and stuff. My brain feels like it needs a bath looking at this dude. Beyond pervert, beyond disturbing. He's wrong. He's wrong. Just wrong on so many levels that it's ridiculous. And he can't see it. That means it can't be fixed. Even if it could be fixed, with him it can't be. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a shower every time I say something nice to him now. Simply because I'm be betraying myself. Maybe I'd just take the rivalry route with this dude. Regardless. I mean, you know, as far as gameplay is concerned, as far as the combat is concerned, it's nice to have the, what would you say, the friendly status, because he gets a decent buff. He gets a buff for being a rival too, though, and you know, Yeah, sorry, it's actually to the point of outrage. I know it's just a game, but there is people like that. They're the type of people you don't trust around your children. Seriously. And this is kind of bringing it to a head here. This dude. Pretty uncomfortable, man. Well, if he says I got your back, you take that as a whole different meaning and say, stay away from me, freak. Perv. Chester. Making it hard for me to enjoy my game. Alright, anyway, okay. So, alright, we find these papers here, and having Isabella with us is great for that too, because she'll say, hey, you know, let's come back at night, right? So you get it for free, and it unlocks this, and we can just step right over here. Although, I think if you come at daytime, there's a few more guards, and you can actually get a little more XP.
Shit, we're under attack.
I guess I could. I'm not going to worry about it, but probably an extra 100 or two. What'd I get? It didn't show me getting anything for that, but I think we probably did. Sometimes it doesn't always show. Sometimes you get a codex and it doesn't show you XP, but you got some. So I think that's the case there. But yeah, I think if you come in the daytime, there's a small mob at the door, and you get to fight them off and probably get a little bit extra. Wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, no doubt. It's a little bit too quiet, don't you think? See, I can see, you know, like Isabella, I mean, she's almost basically admittedly a whore as far as that goes, you know, by in every sense of the word, at least as the word is intended. And she'll essentially admit that, right? She doesn't really have a problem with that, but she has a conscience. All right, you know, like there's a line that she can draw between person and property. Is, you know, like you find out when you first do her initial quest there in the Chantry, when you go do that brutal ass duel with Hader, you know, that for the sake of all those slaves, she freed them. You know, she saved those people from a life of, you know, misery and eventual death, right? And so, you know, I'm cool with that. I mean, talk about her day-to-day morals all you want. When it comes to that dividing line between truly right and wrong, at least she has some idea, some concept. I don't think Anders has that. I think he's a sociopath as far as that goes. I just don't think it's there. That part is missing. He's broken there in his brain, in his mind. The difference between moral decency and stuff. He didn't just confront a widow with the sexual practices of her dead husband. And if I even need to go into that, then maybe, you know, if anyone feels they need an explanation onto just how wrong that is and on how many different levels, maybe you might need to check yourself, because that's, you know, that's kind of just self-evident right there. But the fact that was on his brain in the first place. Yeah, give me the dirty stuff. Put lotion on your skin. You know, that's beyond creepy. That's filthy. That's sick. He'd be a sexual serial predator, murderer, killer type. Wondering what his past was before he joined the Wardens. I'm finding no real need to question that. I think I know. Absolute sicko stalker perv, weirdo, freak, nasty thing. Seriously.
I don't like the looks of this.
Sounds like I'm harping on it. I'm not harping on it near as much as it deserves, because the whole principle behind everything that he is, it's
I would
wow.
read that in if I were you. Looks like Martin's trading in death.
Yeah, okay, Anders. Yeah, you too. You too, buddy. Just takes one to know one, huh? He has no win. It has no win with me, period. Most detested character in the whole franchise, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now this is interesting here. Oh, my bad. Thinking of something else. Yeah, actually, this. Look at their health bars. Okay. This is one of those. It's kind of a, you know, a test of your party. Combos really come in handy here. Being able to do massive damage. There you go. Okay. Being able to set up the enemy and being able to take them down quickly here with these extended bars between the archer or the reaver or the assassin. Any one of them is capable of, oh, say, taking out your healer. And once that's done, you know, the party may go down. Just 3 enemies there, properly set up, can wipe the party. You know, and I think that's pretty clever. I love the way Dragon Age 2 just tests your party build just in every way. It's awesome.
Bugger off.
I guess we'll come to deal with him later. At some point, that mysterious lady in the tavern has to give us the quest to come just get these people off the docks, if nothing else. It happens sometime during this act, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it carries over into Act 2. Alright, so we'll give Mr. Drives the Windowless Van by Schoolyards the better staff, so it can at least do its job. If I remember right, there's some traps. Okay, and really, it's a matter of not letting my teammates troll me by triggering the traps before I get a chance to disarm them, because that's free XP. In fact, sometimes in a fight like this, if my party goes in and just wipes all the traps, I don't get a chance to disarm any of them. That's XP that you leave on the table. I mean, that's XP you're never going to get in the game. And being as there is somewhat of a cap on XP, a lot of times I'll restart a fight like this if it goes really badly. I may win the fight handily, but if I lose the opportunity to disarm all those traps, so I'll say screw that. Go back and just try it again. Boy, paralyze is so nice. What's cool is paralysis allows your mages to paralyze multiple targets without having to trigger a combo, or get a really high level spell like mass paralysis. There was also a way, I think in Origins, it was if you used the repulsion field, I think it was called. Might be using the wrong word for it, but basically you could put one glyph on top of another and it would cause the paralysis glyph to essentially explode and trigger mass paralysis, which I think actually had friendly fire on it anyway, if I remember right. But you don't have to do all that here. You can essentially just upgrade the paralysis glyph, and it will just trigger on more targets. Pretty cool.
Please, help me. Anyone?
Get the hands! I heard they can't do no spells without hands.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Nothing of magic.
Poor innocent, poor me mage turns into an abomination. Fireballs and lightning weren't enough. Got to resort to demons and blood magic. Of course. Does this story get old to anybody? I'm just saying. It's kind of a sad story actually with this girl. As much of a sad story as it can be. I mean, she's turning into a bloodthirsty, murderous monster by choice. So whatever. But she was pushed into it. Well, these aren't Templars she's dealing with here. These are simple raiders, and I'm sure a few fireballs would have worked just fine. But whatever excuse to resorting to this is, it's not good enough. Whatever it might be. But be that as it may, it is what it is, and she's dead now. And we actually get to find out a little bit about that. And the lesson I learned from this is not the lesson that you might think, actually. I'll tell you what I mean when we get to that point. But we'll have to go deliver the news about this girl, and we'll see just how harsh this lesson really is.
That poor girl. Who do you suppose she was?
A mage, Anders. And there you go. It's a letter to Thrask, who was that Templar back at the gallows. And this was his daughter, and he's going to learn the mage lesson. A mage not put in a circle.
A good man. It goes against all Chantry law to make him tranquil.
I don't like the looks of this.
And Anders is still trying to... Okay, that same mage gave you up. He snitched you off to the Templars. Idiot. I don't expect you to see it. I don't care. Kind of wish it would have happened. Wish you were made tranquil. Seriously. No. Actually, that might not even fix your broken brain. You just need to be dead. Before you're allowed to hurt anyone else by just existing. But yeah, Thrask gets to learn the mage lesson, is that, mage not put into the circle for proper training to build up some defenses for that war that they are born with. I think that's the key. In wartime is different than peacetime. Okay, wartime calls for defense, for one to take up arms or die, or lots of others die as a result, whatever. Okay, and so if a mage is, and you use this as an analogy, and it's not so much animosity towards mages, if you kind of see where I'm coming from in thinking like this. If you have a mage that's essentially born at war, in a state of war from birth, they're at war with themselves, with their own mind, with dreams. They're not even essentially at peace when they're resting, okay? Even at night, they have to fight in their own mind, okay? And without learning how to take up arms, they're gonna fail. And they're gonna go over to the other side at some point. Without the proper training, that's the key.
That's it. You used to really like that girl with the griffin tattoos, right? What was her name?
The Lay Warden?
That's right. I think you were there the night I...
Oh,
Well, now we see why Anders left the Wardens, too.
That was nice.
He can come up with all the excuses that he wants, but
I can only think
he wanted to go play with his magic.
Demons or slavers.
I found this. It was addressed to you. It seems to be from your daughter.
My daughter? Then you know what she is. How she died. When I traced her to that warehouse, I should have forced her into the circle. My own weakness in the face of her pleas is what destroyed her. It is why I urged Ariani not to give in when Fenris wished to hide. If only I had been so strong for Olivia.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about the Templars finding out anymore.
Thank you. She is at peace now. I would not wish to see her name smeared while her ashes are still warm.
No doubt, brother. You learned that lesson the hard way. And I mean the hardest way you could. I don't need to add anything to that, nor rub it in. It is what it is. Lesson learned. Damage done. You paid the price. Paid in full. That's the end of the matter. You know, I get it. But, bottom line is the price still had to be paid.
This city is amazing. Do you know I saw someone get mugged? Right outside. It was fascinating. Everything happens here all at once. How does anyone keep it all straight?
People don't pay attention, usually.
I can't even imagine how you do that. It's so busy here. So many things just get lost.
Do you miss the Danish?
I miss Heren Pival stories. The creaking of Aravels in the breeze. The city is so busy and confusing. And the elves here are not like my clan. But I'll get used to Kirkwall in time.
The Templars haven't found you, have they?
I've been careful, even among the Dalish. Keepers never work magic in public. And I think the Templars don't even see me. I'm just another elf in the alienage.
Are you feeling lost here, Meryl?
A bit. But I'll adjust. I'm glad you came by. I needed someone to talk to.
Wow. Yeah, and that was kind of the truth of it too, wasn't it? How do people ignore what's going on? Well, they choose to ignore it. That elephant in the middle of the room doesn't exist as long as we don't talk about it. As long as nobody acknowledges it, maybe it'll go away. It never does, but eventually people become too afraid to acknowledge it, because to acknowledge it is to, well, acknowledge it. And admit that it exists. Now notice I took Aveline out of my party to turn this in. Because Aveline's not going to approve of us handing over the poison, I don't think.
Varric?
Just shitting you.
Varric said, stop objectifying me for my hairy chest. He almost had her too. That's awesome. That's cool when you can get Isabella to stutter. That's awesome. Varric's very cool, man.
Guess what I found? Crates filled with enough poison to assassinate every noble in Orlais, and then some.
I knew I should have told you not to look in the crates. Look, there's nothing shady going on here. I got the stuff from a legitimate supplier, and I'm going to sell it through legitimate channels. It's all legitimate.
It's poison. It kills people.
I just sell it. I'm not responsible for what people do with it. So, where is it?
Do you know where Alton Woodrow's warehouse is?
Merchant Woodrow's place. I know it. Thanks for this, friend. You've more than earned your reward. I'm gonna get my goods. You come back once I'm set up, I'll give you a discount.
Sweet. That's quite a few brownie points with Isabella just for getting the quest and then agreeing to do it and then turning it in, and yeah, that's like 25 friendship points there. That's cool. Which is all good. I mean, I'm playing a rogue. You know, if I'm going to use poisons, I'd be a hypocrite not to pass it through legitimate channels, right? Whatever. Don't judge me. All right. Might as well level Varric up while I got him here. He's going to be a staple in the party here, at least for a little bit, in the not-too-distant future. Don't need to worry about cunning, but always keep in mind that cunning does give him, I believe, not just a little extra defense, but a little extra critical damage. And he's going to start pulling off criticals pretty regular with Bianca. He really is. All right, now notice, disorient, okay? As long as he's in the party, he's able to disorient enemies, which other party members can capitalize off of, all right? So a lot of times an ability, look at its upgrade and see if you want to take that ability, right, to see if that upgrade for that ability applies to the rest of the party. If a mage has something that he or she can cast often that can capitalize on a disoriented enemy, for example, or you have a warrior in your party, or you're playing a warrior where you have a particular move that can do a lot of extra damage to disoriented enemies, then you know, have that, pick that and upgrade it, and have that assigned for them to use often, even on mobs. It's especially good if you can do something that's got somewhat of an AoE effect that can set up enemies to be cross-class combo. But either way, it's really nice when you have elite targets. What I like doing is having him set pinning shot to basically any enemy that's at short or medium distance from him, because that means an enemy that's close by, and odds are, you know, half the time it's going to be an enemy that's attacking him, right? They're in short to medium range. If they're close enough to hit them, they might be, and so pinning shot will hold them in place and, you know, give them a second to move away and get in range, plus set that enemy up for a combo, and it, you know, works good for everybody. Like I say, synergy, you know? Kind of letting the whole party kind of flow together. You know, don't have enough to buy both. And you know, I hate to say it, but I'm going to wind up giving this potion, the mage potion, to Anders to give him an extra ability. I hate to give him anything. That's a shame, but that's the truth of it. But somehow Dragon Age 2 has dictated that he be the assigned party healer. Whatever. Now, when I'm playing a warrior, that's a ring that I really like to have. Good thing is it doesn't disappear from the inventory after Act 1, because pretty much, you know, once I have enough money for, I believe the same belt that I bought for my main character here, I'll get that, although I'm going to pass that off to someone else, like maybe Aveline or whoever, Meryl, later. It's the +1 to all attributes and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's another belt, I forget what it's called, but I think you get it at the beginning of Act 3, maybe towards the end of Act 2. It's pretty expensive, like really expensive. But it gives you major stat boosts that are perfect for a warrior. Plus, I think it gives you immunity to, like stun and knockback and stuff, or something like that. Anyway, I just remember an item like that. So, the cost for getting prime gear, the dream items for a warrior, is a little higher than my rogue setup. My rogue setup is much cheaper. Mages have a pretty high cost too, because there's like one super staff towards the end of the game that I mean, I can't see you not wanting. It's twice as good as any other staff. I even think it has the blood magic thing built in, and as hypocritical or ironic as this is, you know, if I was to play a mage, I would go the blood mage route, specifically to have some of the like, what is it, Pull of the Abyss, I think it's called, something like that. It's a spell that carries over into Inquisition, if I remember right. Not real familiar with mages, don't really like playing them, period. Mainly because I'm not much of the archer range type. I like getting in their melee. That's my thing. That's what I enjoy, you know, more personally, personal taste. But if I played a mage, that's the route I would go, and so I would have blood magic stuff built into all the gear at my disposal, so I could really draw off that health pool. And once again, you have that advantage of having not only more health, but almost unlimited mana, as long as you're alive, essentially. It's kind of how that works, so it's pretty cool. Alright, notice I switched out Varric for Fenris now. When dealing with slavers, I like having Fenris around. It's kind of like taking Iron Bull to fight dragons in Inquisition, same type of thing. He loves killing slavers, and I don't blame him, because I do too. Just for what they are, they deserve to die. And the fact they could treat human beings, families, rip families apart, and treat people as merchandise, and so on and so forth, that shows a state of mind that's shouldn't be allowed to exist. So we'll take care of that. I'll set him up in a lot of ways, a lot like I would my own character if I'm playing a two-handed warrior. His reliance will be on basic attacks, and any way you can capitalize off those basic attacks to set the party up for cross-class combos. I think he'll have an ability to essentially stagger, at least have a chance to stagger with his criticals, mobs. And if he can hit several of those mobs, and then that stagger can be triggered with chain lightning with the mages. Sometimes, you know, a swift combo from Fenris and one of the mages can take out a small mob of enemies in one shot. It's really nice, just for example. But he'll also be able to buff the party. I'll let him use a lot of his stamina for passives. Like, it's kind of the same as Aveline does. Although he's leaning towards DPS and not being a tank, he can still rally the party and provide things, you know, like maybe battle synergy or, you know, stuff like that. So he can keep some of those passives active. And it really benefits the whole party.
Why, look here, boys. Volunteers. Clap them in irons and let's see what the Tevinters will pay for them.
Make him talk.
I can do that.
I can do that. Gladly. What do you think of that, slaver mage? You can slap who in irons? Oh, your mom? Yeah.
How did you do that?
None of your business.
Never mind, I've stashed the boy in a cave, a smuggler hideout on the Wounded Coast. Tevinters will be by to finish the deal today. Now, can I go?
Coward.
Sure. Oh, wait. I meant no.
Well, at least in video games you get to do the right thing every once in a while. This is where you laugh when a social justice warrior comes along and says, "But those slavers have rights. They deserve their day in court. The taxpayers should spend $1 million to give them a lawyer, and then should pay to keep them alive in prison for the next 100 years. Oh." No, I'll tell you what, I'm going to save everybody a whole lot of time and trouble, and a whole lot of people in the future a whole lot of misery, by just taking them out of the world right now, and we'll just make the world a better place. This mage is tough. I'm kind of glad Fenris got the coward out of the way, though. I can only imagine having two of these guys here. Spamming their blood spells or whatever they're doing. You recognize that sword that Fenris has, Hater's Razor? It looks like the same in Inquisition, too.
Looks like they took him to some bolt hole in the Wounded Coast. I wonder if that's near the Injured Cliffs.
Oh, I love this.
Or the Limping Hills. Massive Head Trauma Bay. No? Just me? Forget I said anything.
that's scripted, man. That's awesome. No one appreciates good jokes, man. No one appreciates humor. Jeez. Whatever. Alright, so let Fenris have his day with the slavers. Actually, if we gotta deal with slavers on the Wounded Coast, might as well bring them along. Although we're looking for Fenris, and I'm going to favor Fenris not going to the circle here, which would be the only option. If he doesn't go to this circle, he's not going to a circle, and sending him here is essentially a death sentence to a point. And I'm not even really talking about the tranquil part of it. I'm talking about the treatment, the slavery, and the eventual possible death, the abuse, and being half-elf. Also, on top of that, I can't see him being treated kindly by the Thug Templars here, which are more criminal scum than half these dudes that were killing on the streets. So, no, I wouldn't send him to this circle. Because that's not the point. The point of sending him to the circle is for proper mage training. He's not going to get that here. He's going to get abused and either branded or killed. Okay, I get that. I totally get that. And no, I'm not going to do that. If this were the Ferelden Circle or another circle, absolutely. Absolutely send him for proper training that he needs. But I think he even says in his dialogue, we'll see when we meet him, but I think he says something to that effect. His other circles were cool, but the Kirkwall Circle, hell no. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. If you want to watch more Dragon Age, click that icon there in the middle, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.